Tom Brady. You made some stuff with the GOAT himself.
That was a crazy one because also, if you remember, I'm from Boston. And I'm a huge sports fan, huge Pats fan. So that was a crazy DM. That was the craziest DM I've got. It wasn't from him. It was from 𝐅𝐎𝐿𝐼, who we both know.
Yeah.
From Shadowline, a production company in Boston. They do all of his documentary stuff, his social media stuff. And 𝐅𝐿𝐼, one of their guys, he hit me up. He followed my work. And it was last year during the off season, and Tom was kind of just practicing as he normally does. And I guess the usual stuff they capture during that is just still photos, maybe super simple GIFs at most, but just like very, very basic stuff. And I think they wanted to like see what else they could do. They'd shown Tom some of my work. They showed him the Callaway stuff. He was into it. He was down. And so they were just interested to see if like I'd be willing to like fly out to Boston and shoot some stuff. And there was no budget. It wasn't like a paid thing. It was just like an opportunity. And I was so excited by that. So a couple weeks later, bought a ticket, flew to Boston. We shot for an hour. And I could come up with whatever I wanted. So I always like doing like a 3-part series.
Right.
And so with that series, I kind of wanted to have like a basic video that I knew would do really well on his feed, just because it's like straight to the point. It's nothing crazy. Like he'd never really done anything visual effects heavy on his page. So I wanted to start like with a super basic one, and then kind of like a mid-level one, which is simple, but still like has this really cool effect to it. And then the third one, I wanted to be like, this is like what is like the dream to do, like, which was that CGI video that you referenced.
Right.
So I came up with the concepts, pitched it to his team. They loved it. He loved it. And then yeah, we met up on this practice field in Boston. We had like an hour together, shot. Each video had like 15, 20 minutes per video. And it was me, him, his trainer, and then 𝐅𝐿𝐼 from Shadowline. The whole process of coming up with those concepts, I think it was a mix of two things. It was a mix of like, usually I always will try and push myself to come up with like a really crazy concept. I think especially because I knew I'd be shooting with someone who like in his own world is constantly like pushing himself. I think there was that added pressure I put on myself to like really try and come up with something that he would really enjoy and that like I think his fans would really love.
Right.
And yeah, that was like one of the more fun projects I've ever worked on. The CGI one, that was just a one-take shot, handheld with my DSLR, and the transition is the pan, right? That's what I used to kind of seamlessly make it seem like it was all one take.
Right.
So it starts with the whip pan, but it's all super slow motion. I start walking towards Tom, and then I called the trainer to throw the ball. So that was a cue, and then Tom catches it. So as soon as he has the ball in his hand, that ball is real. And then I kind of wrap around him. He's kind of like getting ready to throw it, gets in position. Then as I kind of walk away from him, backing away, he throws the ball over my head. So then as soon as the ball leaves his hand, then it's CGI. When he has the ball, that's real. Anytime the ball's in midair, that's when we kind of use CGI to create the path.
When the ball's in the air, is the world plated? You still truly doing like a pan with your camera and using that plate as your option?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And it's speeding that up and adding motion blur to kind of like add to the realism of this hyperlapse effect.
That's crazy. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Again, if you like literally that BTS clip I posted, it looks like, oh, he probably added way more shit to it and like played around with the footage. The only thing I did on top of that footage is just sped it up, stabilized, and then added CGI. Otherwise, like the footage was as shaky as it was. Obviously I had a lot of stabilization.
Right.
And then yeah, that was kind of.
Would it have been easier, do you think, if you had a gimbal? Would that have made a different result?
It would have been way easier. I think the reason I didn't use a gimbal, this sounds so crazy. I just like don't want to have to like
travel with it.
It's a mix of that. It's just like I like to make shooting as simple as possible, even if it means editing for 3 extra weeks.
Right.
I would rather do that. Just because that's how this brain works for some reason, and it's terrible sometimes.
No, I feel it. That makes sense.
Yeah. A gimbal would have made it way easier. Like I probably like Shooting with a gimbal would have saved a couple days of stabilization, but I just like to shoot with literally just me and my camera.
Thanks for listening to this clip. Make sure to listen to the full interview, which is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Hit the subscribe button for more highlights and join our Black with No Cream private community for creators. Links in the description.